Legends, what's happening? Week 3, well underway. Got a quick little story for you guys about time spent when you're looking at getting in movement across the day versus sleep, versus work, versus running the business, all those little things. So quick maths, 24 hours in a day. Sleeping for 8. If you're not, you should try to. 7 at a minimum. 8 is great. You can get yourself 8 hours sleep and you've got 16 left. If you can do 8 to 10,000 steps per day, you'll be collecting probably an hour to an hour and a half worth of movement in the day. If you're not getting that much, you usually get about 6,000 to 7,000 per hour, depending on your speed. Now, if you can't get 8 to 10,000 steps in a day, that means that you are still for more than 15 hours of your waking hours. That's a long time sitting still. So encouragement to you to move more. Prior to this challenge, I was doing 7.5 a day. That meant for me that I needed to go out for a 30 to 40 minute walk. And now I'm doing 10. So I've really got to go out for about an hour to get myself the steps for the day. Now, sometimes I break that up into 20 minutes morning, midday, afternoon. Sometimes I do it in one big lot like I am today. And then other times it's just over 2, half an hour time spent. And then incidentally across the rest of the day, I'll collect the other bits. But yeah, that's my encouragement to you. Move more.
Plenty of great lessons to unpack inside the last couple of weeks, team. Monday, normal routine, early morning face-to-face coaching clients in the morning. Once that was done, home on the bike, off to grab the car and into Olympia to train with Jake for a solid chest session. We had a ripper session, as usual. Look at this bloke, pumping out the weights. Great sesh, great chats, great progressions. It's really good finding people that you can train with to keep you accountable, making sure you're doing the sets and doing the reps and getting all the work done. Righto, legends, going to quick share. I'm going to jump in with this. John, not me, a different John, one of the guys I coach, he's got some great progress and there's some specific things that he's done to get that progress and I'm going to share them with you. Just let me switch over screens here. All right, this is the inside of what I see from a coaching perspective for John. Okay, so we've got his training programs, his habits and things like that. Let's dig into some simple habits just to get us started. All right, so from a day-to-day, week-to-week habits perspective, John's hitting 10,000 steps, he's drinking 3 liters of water, he's sleeping minimum 7 hours in bed, and he weighs in on waking. This is a bi-weekly one, so Wednesdays and on the weekend, preferably Sundays. So he's just got 4 habits that he's focusing on. In regards to his nutrition, what he's doing is eating 90% foods from the ground, foods that grow on trees, and foods that were an animal. So lean meats, a little bit of dairy, eggs, fruit and vegetables, predominantly. There's 10% leeway for other things. He's got a macro target, he's got some things he's focusing on, but most specifically, he's eating whole foods. It's very hard to overeat when you're eating whole foods. Now, we're going to switch over, show you a little bit about the training plan. John's a busy guy. He's got kids, works corporate, so he's focusing on 2-day split. They're his main workouts. Okay, so in this 2-day split, it means that if he just goes to the gym, he's got push, upper, lower. He's got pull, upper, lower. So he doesn't have to get to the gym 3, 4, 5 times a week. If he nails those 2 days, that is sufficient for what he's doing. There's a third option for an arms, shoulders, and abs day to bring up a couple of areas that are lagging a little bit. But if he just focuses on the big compound movements in his day 1 and day 2, he nails it. As you can see down here, there is an option if he wants to do a conditioning day, something to get the heart pumping a little bit more. That's cool. He travels for work and family stuff. So I've got some options in here that are body weight travel sessions, just in case he can't get to a gym where he's traveling. No, these are not typos. The Z is in the front, and I do that for my clients that have their main programs are here. 1 and 2 will sit at the top of their list, so they don't have to scroll through stuff. Z just sits right at the bottom, if you're wondering why there's typos in there. Now the cool part, I'm going to show you about his progress. All right, so the first weight we've got recorded is 2nd of September, weighing in at 88 kilos. We get running, we get moving. So the 2nd of September is 1 month ago because it's now, today. Time recording this video, Wednesday, 2nd of October. Yes, I have Do Not Disturb on, No apps available, no notifications available while I'm working. Anyway, back to business. 2nd of September, he's weighing 88 kilos. He sits there for about a week, and then as you can see, there's a nice little trend downwards. And today, 2nd of October, we're weighing 84.2 kilos. So he's had about 4 kilos of loss over about a 4-week period. What does that come down to? Now I'm going to show you some photos, as long as it's cool with him, after we finish the journey. But I just wanted you to know, this isn't a person that is really, really overweight. This is just someone who's got belly fat sitting around the midsection that he wanted to strip off. We've given him simple habits to follow, a food plan, and a training plan, and he's just nailing it every week and getting his steps in. That's it. And he's dropping a lot of body fat off his body. I hope for you, if you're watching this and you're thinking, man, I really can't lose weight, just know that your lack of progress is actually to do with your lack of structure, systems, and accountability. And if you can get those 3 things in your world, in your life, and you truly want to make change, that is the kind of thing that happens. Remember to create systems and structure around your meal time so you can have heat and eat meals on the go.
On here, Tree.
Just being an influencer.
Next up, we got check-in day with Tree Tran at the Alpha Den.
We're trying, mate. We're trying.
All right, beautiful.
Hey, that's cool. Follow you.
All right.
Stay still. I don't want to stay still, Tree. I don't know how to stay still, mate. You guys asking me to do things I don't know how to do. And you'd know because you're like the same. All right, it's body scan time.
Beautiful.
The moment of truth. Oh, man, I just rigged up the mics and now I've got to take... Has it only been a fortnight? Far out.
Let's start punching this out.
Yes, please. Results. Yeah. Yeah, good.
I took some photos yesterday, I reckon.
Beautiful.
I reckon we'll change it.
All right, relax for me. Chest is coming through. Beautiful.
Beautiful. Just as planned.
Interesting. Yeah, what's going on?
Like I just did. Guys, we're going to explain this in a little bit of detail just after this in the video, but what Tree's doing is he's taking measurements of my skin folds with these little calipers, and he's measuring the thickness of basically body fat percentages around different sites of my body. So let's rip in and explain it.
So what we've been doing, really good. So even though we're eating at a maintenance level, so we're probably, to be fair, we're probably in a deficit.
2 to 250 calories, I reckon.
Yeah.
Which isn't much. So for anyone that missed that, I literally dropped 2 to 250 calories out of my diet, walked more, and upped my water intake.
Yep.
And in 2 weeks, I've dropped 1.4 kilograms. So if any of you are saying I can't lose weight, it's because you're eating too much food. We'll show you the statistics. So 4th of September, where are we looking at, Tree?
So 140 mils across all 9 sites. So each one of these sites, that represents how many millimeters of, let's call it fat that there was, but there's skin and fluid in there as well.
Yeah.
So from the last time we were 140 mils, today, for fortnight after, we're 117.5 mils. Weight-wise, we're 98.3, we're 96.9. And where that weight's come from, small drop in muscle mass, but 9 times out of 10 when there's a drop in muscle mass, I look at the fluid first because of the intracellular fluid. The machine picks up, so if there's a drop in total body fluid, it'll reflect in the muscle mass, so I'm not concerned about. We also have a drop in body fat mass, only 200 grams, but that's still, visually you're looking like you've dropped a bit more, but...
So I was probably 75% filling out a week.
Yep.
And then winging the 25%.
Yep.
But now I'm 95% filling out the week.
Bro, talk about this.
Legends, literally editing the video you were just watching, and I thought I'd throw in a quick lesson. In that discussion, Tree and I were talking about I was 75% tracking my food in MyFitnessPal and 25% not tracking the food. What happens with that is you get to the end of the day, or you get sort of afternoon, evening time around dinner, and if you've 75% preloaded, so what I was doing was Saturday or Sunday, I would go get the macros, and in the next week in MyFitnessPal, which I'll show you in a second with a screen share, I was basically creating meals and recipes to try and systemize it as much as possible, and I was 75% there in doing that. I was leaving 25%, winging it, adding things in when I needed it, and just making up the numbers. Not making up as in doing things sporadically, but at the end of the day, when I was missing little chunks of protein, carbs, and fats, I was just eating bits and pieces. That was annoying because I ended up on my phone in the kitchen when I'm trying to hang out with Mel and doing maths, and it sucks. So what I did was I made sure that on the weekends, now I'm just dialing in the entire week. So quite literally in MyFitnessPal, it's just follow the bouncing ball, and I'm already pre-planned for the week, which means I can then do the shopping accordingly and pre-plan all my food. Trying to make things as simple as possible so that I don't drop the ball on this is exactly what I'm trying to do. Now, this is a bit of an indicator of what food looks like for me at the moment. So MyFitnessPal it'll come with 3 options, like breakfast, lunch, dinner. It'll let you do up to 6. So I've got smoothie, breakfast, lunch, afternoon meal, dinner, pre and post training. I usually don't put anything in there unless I really need it, which I was kind of adding stuff with that 25% that I was telling you about. Here's what I'm eating at the moment. Calories, 2441, 209 of carbs, 93 fat, 192 of protein. Now, if you can preload as much food as you can into things like this just becomes almost like a menu for your week. And that way you don't have to think too much. So you can revert to intuitive eating once you've learned how foods are constructed, how to build a plate, what your recipes add up to, and you've got a bit of an idea of what you're doing. In the first vlog video, I talk about how I gained a whole heap of weight. I ate a lot of my normal foods, and I just added a heap of potato and rice to my meals. So I just boosted my carbohydrate intake by a specific amount and then just watch the scales climb. Now I'm getting very specific on the foods that I'm eating and the calories I'm eating for the purpose of this challenging fitness journey. Meanwhile, creating systems and structure around it as much as possible, because that's ultimately what will lead to my success. Absolute ripper day. How's the day on it? Look at that. Look at that. Look at this man. He's straight into it. I'm still stuffed around with the camera and he's in. Hello. There we go. It's following. It's working, Tree. Oh my goodness. You got to read the brief.
That's right.
When you're a trainer, you got to understand the client's brief. When you're the client, the what? The client. Till balls are dropping.
Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah. We're inside. He's bossing me around now. What are we doing now, mate? Seated row. One of my favorite exercises. One of my favorites. So would you, as another way of phrasing that, would you call an RPE 7, like I would call it, 2 or 3 reps in reserve?
Yeah, same thing.
Cool.
Same thing.
Yeah, that's what I've been thinking in my head. It's a reference point.
Correct.
Yeah.
So 2 reps in reserve.
Yeah. Am I at a 6 or a 7 or an 8? Whereas it's like, oh, I'm gonna fail the next one, or 2.
Yeah.
Same but different.
Slight pause at the top. 7, yep, done. 1 second. 8, done. 9, 10.
One more.
12, good.
We got one more set back here.
No, we're done. Okay. So everything looks awesome.
Yeah.
Everything feels good.
Yeah, it's
So
great.
no pain, no niggles, anything?
Nothing.
Good.
Ready to GO. All right.
This is what lunch looks like for me at the moment. Some chicken breast, some vegetables, and a couple of eggs. Now, these 3 extra chicken portions, what I did here was I crack open a new thing of chicken, I weigh it out so that those 3 portions are ready for the days following, which means I don't have to weigh every day. So just little systems that help you speed up parts of the future, basically, where you don't get tied up wasting time doing things you could just do once instead of doing it 4 times. Now, with your fats, as you can see here, I've got my fat in a medicine glass. That can really help you make sure you keep your fats under control. You're pouring it out into the cup, not free pouring it from the bottle into the pan, meaning you can never over pour it because the amount that's in the cup is enough. As you can see, you only need a little bit. Now, go and watch yourself next time you add oil to a pan. I guarantee you the amount that I just put in, you'll be doing more than that, unless you've got incredible self-control. Now, as you can see, I just use a piece of food to spread it out. So rather than pouring it out across the pan, you just spread it out across the pan. Salt, very good after training. Make sure you get that sodium in. As you can see here, just reheating vegetables. Now, speaking of food, if you can make sure that you eat 90% plus of foods that grow on trees, foods that grow in the ground, and lean meats and animal products, basically, you'll find it's pretty damn hard to actually overconsume. But if you're eating foods that are from a packet, they're full of salt, they're full of sugar, they taste really great, but they don't provide you the macro and micronutrients that your body's really looking for, you'll probably just continue to search for more foods that are out of a packet. So, like I said, 90% plus foods from the ground, foods from trees, and animal products like lean meats and some dairy. If you struggle with that and you struggle to implement that, try this. Eat your protein portion first, followed by some veggies or salads, and then eat your carbs. There's a little bit of kombucha, nice sugar-free way to get a little bit of sweet in if you've got a sweet tooth. Now, the clients that manage to do the things that I just said and dial that in, they're the ones that see results, they get success, they're the ones that speed up the process of achieving the goals they set out to achieve, which is wonderful.
What is going on, legend? I've been a little bit slack on the recording of the video. There's a few reasons. Number one is I've been working. Big lesson. I was originally like, I'm gonna just do a vlog series and I'm gonna release a video every week on YouTube. Well, didn't that bite me in the ass? There's awesome lessons involved in this. I have a specific fitness goal. So I've got BAU, my business as usual for my business. I've got face-to-face coaching clients, I've got online clients, all who depend on me to provide them with a service and structure and routine and system, just like I promised them. So they're a priority with the business operation. The next layer is that I decided that I was going to do a fitness journey. So on top of my normal life, my business, I decided, hey, I'm going to add this layer, a next fitness journey and challenge for myself, which you've seen in a previous video. The complexity comes when the documentation and release of that requires two different things. Now, I underestimated the time and attention that would need, and there's a great lesson involved in it all. Number one, there's just like I'm doing now, there's the recording of the videos, there's the explaining of things and documenting B-roll and all the little extra bits. And the thing that I didn't allocate enough thought and time for was the editing and the download and the management of all these videos. They're high resolution, they're in 4K, they take a long time to transfer. The editing quality, I don't want to release crap videos, so it takes me time to do it. Now, I actually somewhat enjoy doing the editing process. I don't love it, I don't hate it. However, to get things right, it takes time. And so that was something that I didn't consider enough. So the big lesson is, I'm gonna link this to some client journeys and some things that I see pop up all the time. Some of the people that I've worked with in the past, they make a promise to themselves to do a fitness journey. They go, yep, I'm in. And then some other things, these external influences come in and they attack their plan. Now, what sometimes happens if you haven't linked the goals or what you're saying that you're going to do to a specific vision, a specific mission, some specific goals and behavioral goals, when all these other influences come in, not like Instagram influencers, so impact. In a previous video, I was talking about external influences and external stresses, how they come in and they attack you basically. If you have a very clear action plan with the things that you want to do, that doesn't become as impactful. So, why am I explaining all this? I'm reverting back to fortnightly vlog releases because I still want to document the journey. I'm 100% committed to executing the journey. I'm still doing all my little things that I've got to do daily, weekly, and monthly. However, what I'm not doing is releasing a video every single week because it takes up far too much time and I just don't have that amount of time to allocate to that. So there's a great lesson for me personally, for me as a business operator, but also I want to pass that lesson on if you're following this vlog series. Sometimes it's not about stopping the journey, it's about broadening the time horizon and going, I'm still going to execute this, but instead of doing it in this amount of time, I'm going to do it in this amount of time. Taking it back to your fitness journey, your health journey, if you're struggling with certain points, instead of just going, nah, I'm too busy, I'm just going to hustle, I'm just going to get back on the grind, drink beer, get on the nose beers and snort rack on the weekends and do all the things that got you to the place that you did not want to be, overeating, over-consuming, not exercising, taking your body for granted until it starts screaming at you to do something about it. Broaden the time horizon, still look after BAU, but also keep this other element over here of looking after yourself as best as you can. So that's my lesson.
Nice early morning in the office, taking care of urgent, important things. Really good to prioritize and make sure that my time spend and your time spend is spent doing the things that move the needle the most. Before my workout, I made sure that I got a quick carb dense feed in to help with training. So making sure those fats are weighed once again, just like the oils, as they add up way too quickly. So pre-gym training isn't full of things from a supplement store for me. It's just gluten-free bread, a little bit of almond butter, a date, and some honey. Great feed before a workout. And here we go, off to do some push day to finish off the week nice and strong. Once training's done for the week, I'm off to Market Organics and the local butcher to grab some, lean meats, fruit, vegetables, all the little things for the week. Here's a simple dinner. So it's preloaded in MyFitnessPal, 200 gram steak, porterhouse, which is where most of that 44 grams of protein comes from. These potatoes, I've pre-cooked a big batch. I've portioned them out into the small containers that go in the fridge, which is there, as you can see, 125 odd grams of cooked potato, meaning I just have to heat it up, slap the steak, as you can see there, salted, a little bit of oil, medicine glass once again, of course. That is a really easy dinner because you just heat the potatoes up, smash the steak in the pan, 15-20 minutes, prep, cook, clean up, done, and you're set for the week. See you guys in the next video. Hope you enjoyed.